Hey, welcome to the Tuesday show, starting now at 8:30 p.m. in order to try to be on time. Did we hit that goal, James?
We're like a minute or two off, but you know.
That's better than usual.
Dude,
so.
Yeah, we were like, what, an hour late yesterday?
It was something like 40 minutes late, I think.
It was pretty bad. So.
So we're doing it at 8:30 now because James gets home from work at like 7:59.
Yeah, and then the worst thing about it is I can't even pick up food. So, like, I'm usually by the end of the show just, like, painfully starving. So now I can actually grab some food, so that's actually good. So
yeah, and it's nice for me because I get to get home from work, whenever I want, usually, but now I get a little bit more time to work or to play games beforehand. So it's a nice little...
Did you actually play some...
I did today.
Oh, nice.
I did today.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I mean, did you actually turn on Injustice and check out Scorpion at all? Or?
Yeah, I don't have the season pass.
Oh, that's right.
Okay,
okay.
Scorpion came out if you have the season pass, right? You can access it.
So exactly how does the season pass work?
I'm not exactly sure on that because I haven't gotten it and didn't really look into it that much.
It's like if you pay for a season pass early, you get the content earlier than everyone else and as a cheaper price total, I think is what it is.
Guess.
Or something.
Something like that. Yeah, you get all 4 characters and I don't know. Whatever. No, I haven't tried them, but I did get to watch a ton of stuff.
Oh, really?
So people are already putting out combo videos. There are already like a couple of run-throughs of the character.
Jeez.
That you can see. Yeah, people were really quick on that today.
The only thing I saw was Hanzo Gonzo's combo video.
Okay.
And Hanzo Gonzo will be on at 10 o'clock today on the show that sucks.
That's
on
right.
Twitch.tv/iPlayWinner.
That'll be right after we're done. Hanzo put his stuff up and had combos that were both mid-screen and corner that were about 40 to 46%, I think.
Which is ridiculously good. I mean, it's
good.
It's a really good amount. So, especially for a character that looks like he's a little more mobile than like.
Yeah, I mean, his walk speed is really slow.
Okay.
So he's not that great on that. His dash is okay. He has the teleport, obviously, like the punch teleport, right? That goes like the other side of the screen. Obviously it's Scorpion.
Yeah.
But on block, it's just like in MK9 where he does the little flippy flip.
Oh yeah. Of course. That's the way it's always been since first Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I also heard that you can meter burn it on block rather than just on hit.
Oh really?
And that when you meter burn it on block, it's safe. That's what somebody told me that on Twitter. So hopefully that's correct, and I'm not like.
Yeah,
saying the wrong thing.
I saw the original video that NetherRealms put out, that Warner Brothers put out, and they did like full screen interactable and to teleport and got a full combo off of that.
Yeah,
which was
really
on good.
on hit it does this little launcher part that you can get a lot of stuff on. But I mean,
it's just like from full screen. He threw something at him, blew him up, and he teleported and comboed him.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, you can meter burn it on block, and then it's +9 thanks to Heaven's Knight. Yeah, I mean that's really good. It's not a high. It's not an overhead, I should say.
Yes.
So you can just block it pressing down.
Holding down, yeah.
So it's not actually like a side-to-side mix-up. Right. I feel like it's just like punishing people for throwing projectiles or just being tricky if you're not expecting it, that kind of stuff. Basic, whatever.
Right.
You know how that thing goes.
I mean, a lot of characters can hit you from across the screen pretty easily in this game. Not a lot of them can get a combo to this degree, so... but we'll see how he turns out. So I mean, like I said, all I saw was the NRS video, Hanzo's video, and just from the NRS video that they released, I mean, nice, cute little intro that they had and stuff. So aesthetics that I'm sure you're very well interested in.
Super important to me.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he has get over here, of course, meter burn it, and then they're right there next to you, just like with Batman. He has Batman slide. His trait is Grundy's Grave Rot.
Right.
Where he does damage over time. Except apparently it also restands if you do it. If you juggle into it restands, you get a little bit more.
It looked like it was 2 separate things, right? His trait looked like it was... It
does a little damage at the start, and it restands people, and then it does damage over time.
Because he had the special move in MK9 where he just did...
He still has Hellfire.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so those are 2 different things then. Okay.
Different thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, not the same. So he has... is that it? Oh, he also has a little flash kick looking.
Well, he has the trip thing. He has the trip move that he's had for
the little slide.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about that one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, the Batman slide. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
the two moves that they clearly just gave Batman, but we're still also making Scorpion. Like, why did that happen?
I know. Like, he has grapple.
Dude,
but instead of get over here, he goes over there, right?
Right, yeah. Like, totally
go
different.
over there!
Yeah.
Dude, that's what he should say.
That'd actually be pretty sick.
If he grabbed you, go over there.
Yeah.
You go over there and, like, punch you. No, that'd be funny.
Yeah, so I haven't gotten to see him play that much. I did watch a little bit of Art's stream. Earlier.
Okay.
Well, he was playing just a little bit, but I only had a few minutes to watch that. So, I guess we'll see. You know, I read a little bit of forums. Some people were saying, "Oh man, he seems really good." Some people were saying, "I don't really see it."
Right.
So whatever. It's day, 0.2.
Yeah, we have absolutely
I don't have
no
it yet,
idea
so.
how these characters are going to turn out.
Yeah.
I just saw Crazy Bone tweeted that he's going to actually use Scorpion tomorrow at Wednesday Night Fights just for fun to see what he can do with him. So, we'll see. So
Does that make you sad though?
Well, I mean, hopefully, I'm thinking about going tomorrow, and then maybe that means I'll have to rep Catwoman for the night.
Okay,
so
all right.
We'll see how that goes. This could be either amazing or unmitigated disaster. So
Yeah,
we'll see
it could
how
be.
It goes. So.
I mean, she's like the most simple character possible, so it shouldn't be that big a deal.
Really?
I think she's stupid.
She's really simple. She's super basic.
So basic.
She's so basic. There's like no gimmicks with her. There's like no tricks.
What do you mean she has this awesome overhead low game? What are you talking about?
Well, that's all it is. It's not like a gimmick. You know what I mean? She just beats you with.
She's just like consistently easy and good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
so I'm down with that. So
I mean, yeah, she's good. But I would like to go to tomorrow because I've been playing a bunch of Bane. I haven't been practicing Lex the last few days, which is probably stupid of me, but I've been trying to make Bane.
Well, who are you going to use in the tournament?
Probably Bane.
Bane, really?
Yeah,
okay. You're not going to use Lex?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm just going to run with Bane.
Dude, isn't Lex, like, you keep trying to tell me that he's not as bad as everybody says he is, right? I have no opinion right now.
I know. There was a tier list that was made on Testermite that I got a chance to look at. And yeah, I really think that people are sleeping on that character. He just has so many tools, is the thing. And it's not immediately obvious how to put a lot of it together. You have to look for particular meaty setups, things that deal with roll or not roll.
What was your analogy
matchups.
on Twitter?
Oh, you liked my
I like that analogy. Yeah.
My analogy was that he's a set of puzzle pieces that don't have any corner pieces. So it's really, although you might have, you can see what is on each individual puzzle piece, but it's not immediately obvious how they should go together.
Right.
You got to work to figure it out. It's like a bunch of trial and error.
Easy starting point.
There's no easy starting point.
Yeah.
And he's extremely well, everybody's matchup heavy, of course, but he is in particular because a lot of his setups, like if I'm in the corner, if I'm cornering somebody who doesn't have a good escape that knocks me down and gets them out, like against Catwoman, she's just going to go to the other side, right? But if I'm against somebody who's not like that, then I have these ridiculous corner unblockables that are just really dumb. Unblockable. If I have meters until I'm out of meter.
Sequences in a row that are unblockable. Okay.
But I mean that's matchup specific, so that's how he's going to be, and I do think that he's going to end up being pretty good, but.
Hey,
he's not there yet for sure.
When MK9 first came out, everyone was positive Jax was bad, and then some players actually turned out making him very good. Even I mean, obviously they're patching characters, little by little and such. But didn't some players do really good with Jax before he got buffed? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they didn't even.
He just was kind of unexplored by a lot of people.
At
the start, but Lex. A few people are playing him. I know Fab in New York City is playing him. Who else was I just... Infrit's going to play him. I know there's somebody that I'm forgetting that I shouldn't be. But in any case, I know that there are some players. It'll take a while.
Okay.
But
Bane,
sure. Despite the fact that I think Bane is worse, he's a little bit more obvious how to play. So I feel like he's even though he's worse overall, in reality, he's a little better at the start. If that makes sense.
No, I know what you mean. Basically, I mean, we got to think of Ghost Rider, right? When Marvel first came out, he was super good because it was so hard to. So he was a good starting character, but in the long run, he just didn't pan out.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a character that I think is really apt. Maybe it's I don't know, but he's already not that great a character, but he's just easy.
Okay.
It's pretty easy to play. He doesn't have that many tricks. It's just basic, high-low throw. Can you get in or not? That's all.
Apparently not as easy to use as Catwoman, though. So
That character is seriously simple.
dude, she's so good.
Like, at least I have to make decisions with Venom and stuff like that.
Right,
like,
right.
But,
I'm like jump, attack, 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 attack.
yeah,
attack.
yeah. She
It's
seems
fun.
pretty
It's
stupid.
fun. It's fun.
Yeah,
so.
I bet. So yeah, we'll go. I mean, I'd really like to go tomorrow to Wednesday night because I haven't been there in a while. I haven't played in an Injustice tournament yet.
Really?
So, no, I haven't been to
I
any of
haven't
them.
played at any. Yeah, I haven't gone to. I think I went to one tournament that Injustice was there. I went to a tournament with Injustice that was there, but I did not actually end up entering or anything like that. I think they had side tournaments at like the ST event that I was at and stuff like that. So, yep.
Speaking of Injustice, and you brought up patching just a bit ago. There was a patch today.
Yeah. And they didn't change much, which is good.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when NRS was dealing with MK9 the first time, they changed a lot of things with every patch.
Those patch notes were big. Like,
Yeah.
most of the characters were involved, and there were significant changes at the start. So.
And I think it ended up confusing a lot of people, made it really hard to keep track of. Right now, the patch notes are very short. In fact, looking at the notes right now, only 4 characters have changed.
Right, yeah. It just... I like that one of the changes is that they're adjusting frame data. They have adjusted the frame data. For some reason, the frame data that was in the game was wrong in some cases.
Yeah, you know what?
It's just weird.
I kept saying, I bet you they're not auto-generated. I
Yeah,
bet
sure.
you anything, because maybe it was towards late in the development, they're like, we have time to squeeze these in, so
Yeah.
it wasn't built into the system, so they had to manually enter the numbers, and so it's going to be impossible to maintain accurately. There's going to be mistakes till the end of time.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, probably, but there were a lot of mistakes
Okay.
before.
Okay.
And I haven't checked through... I really want to check out Bane just to keep talking about that character, because I feel like he's listed as being slower than he actually is in the frame data.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of feel that way, so we'll see. So there was that fixed. Let's see, there was the glitch with the camera being obscured during... Oh yeah, Batgirl Super, yeah.
I mean, it looks like they did a couple of things to help Flash out, because people were saying Flash wasn't very good. So I'm actually curious now, because he was actually the character that I probably originally wanted to play.
Oh, really?
When the game came out, before the stream was like, you should play Catgirl. And I was like, okay, sure. So I ended up playing Catgirl, and...
You mean Catwoman?
Catwoman, whatever. Dude, Batwoman, Bat Dude, super guy. It's all the same,
Yeah,
whatever.
super guy.
Yeah, Wonder Female, and stuff like that.
Alright, go on.
Yeah.
So the Flash can now enhance Lightning Charge special with meter burn. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, if the opponent blocks.
Yeah.
That's cute.
So, I mean, it would be kind of cool. Maybe if Flash is considered
I
a
gotta
little
see what
bit
that looks
better
like.
out, I might actually want to try him out a little bit. So, yeah. And it's kind of interesting, because that was the first character that Vi picked up, and then he went to the Joker, and the Joker was, like, worse than Flash, and he got a little better, but Vi seems to be giving himself a lot of work.
Yeah, he's been doing that lately. If you look at his cross Tekken team, it's a good one, but it's not like the best. I talked to him about that. He said that he's doing that deliberately nowadays.
Really? Picking low-tier characters?
Not necessarily low tier, because definitely his cross Tekken team isn't, and I don't think Joker is really either.
Right.
But yeah, he's not going with like the ultimate top.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Looks like Hawkgirl got nerfed.
Was it nerfed?
Mace Charge had its block advantage reduced to -4.
I wonder what it was.
Oh, the meter
before.
burn is now an overhead.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's cool. I've only played against a few Hawkgirls, so I don't really know that much about that character.
Right. And then Killer Frost, it was reduced, the frame advantage, or a hit advantage when performed at point blank range. I actually didn't know this, but I started reading a lot of stuff, and they were saying Killer Frost is one of the best characters in the game. Her slide is like super safe.
Yeah, and leads into big damage. And
right, and it attacks from full screen. Although I saw a tweet from P. Gorath recently, who's been tweeting a lot about Injustice stuff. You can follow him at P. Gorath if you want to. And he said that he was seeing people... He tweeted something about, like, throwing Killer Frost slide. This may change a lot or something, but maybe, like, if you see it coming, you can stop it with a throw, or maybe block it and then throw or something. I'm not sure exactly what he's referring to, so I'm going to have to ask him about that.
Okay. And Deathstroke's the Spinny is now a better wake-up attack.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like there's a lot of wake-up attack glitches. Like, one of the general fixes was human players can now correctly perform a wake-up attack on the first available frame. I don't even know what that means, human players. Like, is this opposed to robot players?
Yeah, I guess that's a good question.
I'm not sure exactly what that means. But
I mean, I've always had some trouble finding the wake-up timing on some of the knockdown states, but I just assumed that was me being terrible.
Yeah.
But maybe there's a glitch. I don't know.
So some people are saying versus CPU, maybe the CPU could do it no problem or something like that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, so...
Little design craziness. So that's all. I mean, only those 4 characters and only those slight changes. And again, I think that's really good that they're taking it slow. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do to some characters that I care about, like Lex. We'll see. I just hope that they let him rock. Frankly, I hope that they let him rock for a while, because I think that he has a long road ahead of him in player development, not in NRS development. And that's what I'm looking forward to.
And the other thing too is that if they keep the changes super subtle like this and small amounts of them, then it's easier for people to keep track of. It's easier for players and even like the Injustice commentators and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're. I remember when I was playing Mortal Kombat. When it first came out, we were playing that, right? And then at one point, the first patch came out and everything changed. And then I played in a tournament and things were safe that weren't safe before. And I got like really confused and I was just like, I can't keep up. And then the patch notes didn't come out right away. Yeah. So I was just like, you know what, I'm playing all these other games. This one is, not being particularly friendly. But now this game, they're releasing patch notes right away. Even Ed Boon was tweeting about it. He's like, patch notes will be out soon. Patch notes will be out soon.
Yeah, Hector's done a good job on Twitter of responding to people as well.
Yeah, exactly. And Hector's been, doing a lot of great stuff on Twitter. So I don't know what his Twitter is.
Hectorific.
Hectorific, yeah. So follow him on Twitter. Get a lot of Injustice news and such. So
yeah, but that was an issue for me with MK9 too. Like, I really liked that game, and I followed it really closely. I played it a lot. Mm-hmm. But then at some point, I even did Evo commentary with Eris on that game.
Yeah, I remember,
which was hilarious. But then at some point, like I stopped paying attention to it for a couple of months. I feel like it was after Evo, and it was just a pretty different game once I came back. Like, there were new characters, and I just kind of stopped. I mean,
I guess just like, obviously we're talking about these differences between, Injustice and Mortal Kombat. I mean, how do you feel about Injustice right now as a competitive game?
I like it a lot. So look, for me, there are some issues. My success rate of doing down 1 into a back forward special is like 10%. Like, right. I find the execution tougher than I feel like I should. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But I know that that's just a little idiosyncrasy of myself, so I can't. That's not like a major problem. I don't think. But it's annoying for me. Other than that, I really have a tough time finding complaints about the gameplay. I really like the characters. I really like the options that they're given in terms of the game engine. Mm-hmm. I like the stages and the interactables.
Oh, you like the stages?
I do like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I feel like it makes me care more about more positions on screen than I otherwise would. Yeah. In almost all 2D fighting games, there's just the corners. And, some characters want to be near the corners, some characters don't care. Weird cases, some characters want to be cornered. If you're Makoto in Third Strike, you get comboed by SA2.
Right.
So, I mean, that's cool. But in this game, I feel like now you have to pay attention to more positions on screen. You gotta, if you're involved in pig action, you got to watch out. I mean,
the pig.
But it's not just that. I mean, you have to know the angles that the different interactables are thrown. Mm-hmm. If you're like, I think that's a really cool design.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting because I was playing a little bit at the Run Back last week, and I played Pigorath before. Once you start, I mean, you just have to learn the stages, right?
Yeah.
Number one. And number two is you really, really need to start using armored back 3 or armored forward 3. So basically you can rock into distances where you bait them into doing something, and then when they activate it, right? So even the pig, for example. And don't forget, when you do a back 3, you can hold it and don't have to trigger armor right away. So if you hold back 3 and they don't throw a pig, you can backdash and escape. But if you hold it and then you see them do the pig, then you can armor it and let go. And there's delay at the end of those interactables.
Right.
So, I mean, right now, I don't like them just because I'm not a power character, and so I get blown up by them all over the place.
Dude, are you serious, man? Gadget characters are so good with interactables.
You think? No.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, like that one stage where you jump up and grab the gun and shoot out of the things instead of using them as a projectile. Dude.
How about the stages where I blow stuff up and can't use it ever again, whereas when you're there, you can keep reusing things?
Yeah, then I try to reuse it, but then you use it and blow it up, and I can't use it anymore.
But I have to do that in order for it to not be a consistent problem for me. Anyways, I really like it.
No, I mean, there was a weird glitch though when I was playing with P. Gorath last time that he did. Like, there's that one stage where there's that ship up there, and he jumps up and, like, grabs it and slams it down or something like that. And I did the armor back 3, and I lost, like, almost half my life and died. Like, I don't know if there's, like, a weird glitch with that. I mean, as soon as it happened, he's like, I've seen this happen before. There's, like, some weird glitch where you'll, like, take double damage or something. Yeah, like, I know I had more than a third of my life.
What?
And then I did back 3, armored it, he slammed the car down, and I died. And it was really crazy, so, yeah. So I don't know if that's a true glitch or not, but...
I don't know, I haven't seen that before.
Yeah.
But,
so
in any case, I mean, your thoughts on the game in general, positive?
Well, I mean, a lot of people knew before the game was coming out, you know, I was very hard on the game. I hated it aesthetically. And
I still agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I like some animations. Grundy's chain grabs are super sick looking, but for the most part, I think it is animated poorly.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
But I don't think that's a major problem, for me.
Yeah. Now that the game is out and I played it, I actually really like it so far. So I'm really enjoying the heck out of it, and I don't know. It feels very old school to me in a weird way. Having special moves be safe on block, you know, having a more offensive kind of style. It feels very Super Turbo-ish to me.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it sounds weird, but it does. I'm actually like attacking and doing stuff. You know what I mean? So. I don't know. I just feel like I'm able to play aggressively in this game, and it just feels like I can go at people. You know, I don't know what it is. I can't explain it.
I mean, you are using Catwoman.
Yeah, that might be it. That might be one of the things that causes that. But.
I can definitely see why you're attracted to Catwoman's playstyle, even if you didn't intend to play her at the start.
Right.
She does feel kind of cameo-ish to me.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Well, the craziest thing about it, too, was, like, I was having fun with her before they turned towards one into an overhead.
Right.
And then they did that, and then it was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think that was a mistake. Like, I don't think that should be an overhead, honestly. Honestly, I don't think that should be
I hear you.
But whatever, it's good. So I mean, I'm having fun with the game right now, and
yeah, me too.
I'm having a really good time. And you know, I mean, I wish more people would play it so I could get more competition and stuff like that. And maybe we'll have to sit down.
We should play. Yeah, we should play.
Yeah.
You know, I complained on Twitter yesterday or maybe the day before about not being able to find matches online, but it's because I was playing ranked, and so since then everybody was like, "Don't play ranked, play player." And I have been ever since then, and it's been no problem.
That's kind of funny, because that whole week, there was like 10 days straight where I played Injustice at least 7 of those nights. And I only did ranked, and I didn't have too much trouble finding people.
Really?
I mean, sometimes I would have to wait maybe a couple minutes or whatever like that, but that's what, you know, phones and stuff are for, right? So.
For me, it was a consistent like 3 to 4 minutes between matches. So
interesting.
It was just really weird. But yeah, ever since going to player, it's been totally fine.
Yeah, and I agree with Deciblade, actually. When I played online and I played rank, I was beating everybody up. Like, it was not good. You know what I mean? Like, the competition didn't feel particularly strong, and so, you know, that obviously inflated my own self-perception of my quality of play.
Well, you know, I think that's something interesting that somebody brought up to me on Twitter about this game, and the quality of the online play. Mm-hmm. I do wonder if this game has a broad enough appeal that a lot of people are playing who aren't normal fighting game players.
Right.
You know, and so they're kind of trying to figure out how to play a fighting game in the first place. Because I've definitely come up against people playing online who just make like really weird choices.
Yeah.
Just like really like, why are you doing that kind of choice? Which could be the case. So.
Yeah, I've played against people that, you know, it just starts off with 2 combos and then they literally just don't even... Like, they won't rage quit. Their character will just stand there. They're like, they just give up. I've had that happen to me a few times already, so... Yeah, it's kind of interesting, so...
Well, anyway, I like it. I'm going to keep playing it. Blah, blah, blah.
Cool. Well, I mean, any final thoughts on Injustice? Or
No.
Okay.
Take a break.
Yeah, let's take a break and we'll be right back and talk about some other stuff, so... We'll be right back.
So there's this game that came out in 1994 that people still play. It's called Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Speaking of brand new games that just came out,
yeah. Go from the one that came out like 2 months ago to the one that came out a million years ago.
Yeah, pretty much.
the reason that I bring it up, ST, which is both of our favorite game, is that new matchup charts are out. New matchup rankings where players were asked to rate their matchups with their main character with the rest of the characters in the game.
Right.
And I just bring this up because it's really cool to me to see in 2013, 19 years later, that not only are we still doing this, but things are still changing to some degree.
Yeah, I mean, I know that this was a project run by the ST Revival crew guys because this was very vital information for their ratio tournament that they're running right now. So, I mean, if you guys haven't heard that they're running a ratio tournament, they've already had some qualifiers. And at EVO, they're doing this as well. So there's going to be standard, character lock tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then the ratio tournament, you can pick up to 4 characters total on a team for 7 points total.
Right.
And every character is a different amount of points based on how good they are.
Right.
And that was largely judged, I'm sure, by this ranking chart that they created.
I'm sure this helps out. But it's not that thorough. I always am confused by ST matchup charts because they leave out half the cast in the old characters.
Oh, right.
So some of the old characters are represented. If you don't know in ST, you can pick both the ST versions and also a version of the character that is, quote unquote old, kind of like how the super versions of the characters were, although with some tweaks on that even.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So most of them aren't used. Some of them are. In fact, some of them are really good. Mm-hmm. Old Sigad, old T-Hawk, old Ken.
And they don't put old Honda in there, and I know you're a big fan of old Honda.
That always confuses me, because he has different matchups from normal Honda.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And some of them are better than normal Hondas. So, I don't know. But
I don't know why they don't put old Cammy on there either.
Because she's horrendous?
Dude, I'm so mad. So, in the ratio tournament, old Cammy is literally worth 0.5.
Yeah.
She's worth half a point.
Right. So, when I saw that, I was like, 14 old Cammies.
Dude, if there was no 4-character limit, 100% I would do that.
Yeah.
I would pick 14 old Cammies over 7 new Cammies. Because I would just try to wear you down and just make you get up from the machine. That's how I'd want to win every one of my matches, is by the 9th Cammy, you just be like, no, I can't take this anymore, and just walk away. Dude, that would have been the best. But unfortunately, I can't do that.
Not going to happen. So I put a link in the chat to the matchups here. Let me I guess I'll link it again. Why not?
Sure.
In case you didn't see it before. It's kind of weird, man. I'm not going to lie.
But I like the fact that they have Japan, US, and Europe.
That's awesome. I love that. Because
love the fact that
there are different play styles, and also we're not as good as Japan in ST, so it's good to get their perspective, and also to get the perspective of people from other play areas who have different takes on things. So, for example, Cammy, the best Cammy player, Nakamura.
In Japan, yes.
Probably, by extension, probably the world.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
So,
fair enough.
no offense.
No, 100% free. Free. Yeah.
He thinks that Cammy versus Honda is a 4-6 matchup. Am I reading that correctly? Is that true, James? Cammy versus new Honda is a 4-6 matchup.
I still 100% disagree with that. I mean, the very first time, you also tweeted out the old chart that NoHoHo put out a long time ago.
Here, let me put that in the chat as well. This is the old one.
Yeah. Let's see here where we can see. Yeah, there we go, Cammy. So there's Nakamura's ratings right there for Cammy. You guys can see. Yeah. And he has Cammy losing 4-6 to Honda.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, he's wrong.
in your ratings that you made in 2008,
yes,
you said Cammy versus E Honda 0.
Yes,
0 out of 10. She will win none.
I thought it was basically the way my logic was is that you would win 5 out of 100 games. Like, that's how I honestly felt that match goes.
So it'd be 0.5.
Yeah,
0.5 to 9.5.
Yeah, and keep in mind, this is me saying this despite the fact that I would probably say in my history of ST tournaments, I have beat more Hondas in a tournament than I've lost to.
What?
Yeah, and in fact, even at that ratio tournament that I went to earlier, like, old Cammy with Muffin Man was using old Cammy, and he beat up like a couple of painters, old Hondas and new Hondas and stuff like that. Despite all of that, I still stand by 1-9.
I just don't think so, man. Like, your own history has said that that's not true.
All the Hondas that I've beat have no idea how to play against Cammy. I'll say this much right now. Chris Lee, a.k.a. Shrek.
Yeah.
He plays against Mike Creaky all the time. Mike Creaky, before he basically stopped playing, was the other best Cammy in the United States, right? So it was basically me and Creaky, because by default.
Right, there were like two.
The third best Cammy in the States was Milo Cooper, because he was the third person who played Cammy, right? So Mike Creaky's Cammy, very good, very strong player. He played against Chris Lee all the time. All the time. So when I play Chris Lee in tournaments, like, there's nothing I can do. There's literally nothing I can do in that match. In fact, the very first SBO qualifiers, there was 3 separate tournaments to determine the 3 players who went. So it was first place, first place, first place. We ran 3 tournaments.
Okay.
Bunch of people came out to that. Chris Lee came out from Virginia to come and play in that tournament and everything like that. I ran into him 3 tournaments.
Oh, yeah?
All 3 tournaments.
Got lit up?
And he nearly perfected me, like, every round. And finally, the third time we met, in the 3rd tournament, he was like, man, I feel so bad holding down back. I'm going to let go of down back and try to play. And I beat him that round. He was like, nope, forget that. And then he just held down back and I couldn't do anything anymore.
So in your mind, if Nakamura were to come to Virginia and play against Chris Lee,
he would get blown up.
Really?
Yeah, 100% he'd get blown up. Because the thing about it is, I'm telling you right now, you were even doing this when we used to play with each other. You would walk at me.
I would walk, yeah.
As soon as you walk, like, for me, that's like Cammy, like, just like, yay! Like, rainbows shoot out of the screen. And I'm like, yes! Literally, Honda should never let go of down back unless he's doing a headbutt. Or charging Ochio.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it's hand slap, hand slap, hand slap, hand slap. If he's losing. If he's winning, it's jump back, jump back, jump back. I'm in the corner. I'm just going to hold down back. Charge Ochio throw, and I'm just going to sit here. Just going to chill.
I feel like it's not that simple.
Anytime Cammy comes close, jab. That's it. That's the end of the game, pretty much. And there's really not much you can do.
Well, I'll have you know that according to Chris Gamble, who I think is probably the best Honda in the country, I think he's really good. Honda loses 3 matchups 0-10.
Right.
And 2 of them 1-9.
So
what do you think about that?
I'm not the only one who put a 0-10 matchup.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think, like I said, I think Chris is super good, but the character doesn't lose 0-10 to old Ryu. To old Ken, there is like maybe an argument that it's one of the worst matchups in the game.
Fierce uppercut just blows him up.
Fierce uppercut, the option select that Ken has is ridiculous.
Right.
His zoning game is like immaculate. It's just a terrible matchup. I would still put it like 1. I think I did actually. Maybe I put 1.5 or something when I did it back in the day. Oh, I put 2. I probably should have not done that. I'd probably change that now. But 0, I just feel like is too much. And 0 against old Sagat is kind of bizarre to me because I don't feel like it's one of Honda's worst matchups. I feel like there are at least 3 or 4 that are worse. So
yeah, I mean it's really interesting because he also was it. No, there was another 0-10 in the charts somewhere.
Yeah,
I think it was Guile. Someone put like Guile losing. Yeah, Guile losing to old Sagat 0-10.
Really?
Yeah, from Tecmo.
And then actually Rizwan also had that as 0.5.
I don't think it's...
That surprises me.
I mean, yes. Don't get me wrong. Bad matchup. Bad matchup.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot of crazy Guiles do some crazy things versus Sagat. So, I mean, like, what about the Japanese players? What are they listed
No old
as?
Sagat listed.
What?
No.
Oh, because no one ever in Japan ever really played old Sagat.
There are just no old characters listed in Japan, unfortunately.
Okay,
and same with Europe. Like that's what I was saying. I was sad that they didn't do that. Because that's not the entire game. One thing that really surprised me was that Old Hawk is still listed as being bad. And,
is he?
Yeah, Damned Eye lists him as losing to almost everybody except for Zangief, normal T-Hawk, and going even with Ken and Ryu.
Because that's weird, because there's some people who consider him like top 3 or maybe even best character in the game now.
Yeah, that makes no sense to me, honestly. Like I feel like he does much better than that. Papercut listed him as doing a lot better.
Yeah, I talked to Watson, too, at Super Arcade, and he literally said to me he thinks Old Hawk is the best character in the game now.
Yeah, I know.
I don't agree. Cause
Yeah, I don't agree
Cammy. My character blows up T-Hawk.
Yeah.
Dude, when I played in that ratio tournament, there was like 4 T-Hawk players there. Like, they learned T-Hawk. And I have 3 Cammies on my team. Every time I ran into those guys, they were just so sad.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird to me, but he still sucks, apparently. And it was cool to see that some people totally disagree in their character. So, whereas Damn Die says that old Ryu is overall plus 11, that is to say, he beats most of the cast, looks like. Beats or goes even with most of the cast. Shoto's All Day, who was really good.
Oh, yeah. He got 4th place at the 25th anniversary tournament.
Yeah, another really good player. Thinks that old Ryu is even overall. So he puts Ryu at 11 fewer points overall, which is pretty significant. So, I don't know, it was cool to see. DGV puts Ryu as plus 13 and Mike Idge minus 5.
Yeah,
so
I mean, the one thing that confuses me the most... Okay, so the other person in U.S. that got to rate Cammy was Mongola Robocop. And for Fei Long, he put down Cammy wins against Fei Long 9-1.
Yeah, I don't think that is reasonable.
I don't get that at all. Like, if he was talking about HDR, I could see it more.
Okay.
But I don't know. I swear that's a typo. That has to be a typo.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, because... So you put that it was, what, 4-6 or something?
Yeah, that Fei Long wins that 4-6.
Yeah, and Nakamura also put 4-6 for Cammy, and then what did the European player say?
Also
2-8.
Right, exactly.
And Mongol Robocop says 9-1. Yeah,
it has to be a
that
typo.
Doesn't make any sense
it has to be a typo. So I like how Commander Pepper says that Cammy only exists for one reason: to blow up T-Hawk. That's pretty accurate right now. So
she beats Geef pretty well.
Yeah, she beats Geef. I mean, Geef can do better against her, but yeah, it's still a bad match. It's still definitely a bad match. So.
And speaking of Geef, seeing Gunze, let's see. He had 6-4 against Ryu, 6.5 against Ken. So he blows up. Well, not blow up, but he beats Ken.
So those are the only characters he listed that Zangief beats.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty normal.
I
guess I'm surprised to see the 6.5. I might say 5.5 or something, but that was nice to see. And it's just in general, his ranking of Zangief wasn't that terrible.
Yeah. I mean, dude, this is an old game. Most of these numbers here are going to be pretty accurate. I mean, obviously from personal experience.
Yeah.
Right?
One thing that I like about ST players is that a lot of them are willing to put down that matches suck. I think that's cool. Because it's a problem in Street Fighter 4 when you see matchup charts in that game, and it's like, Cammy versus Dalsum, it's a 6-4 matchup. Like, nuh-uh, it's not a 6-4 matchup. It's a blow-up. And that 6-4 is not blow-up. So I like that people in this game will put like 2-8, 1-9.
People a long time ago, when we rated stuff, 6-4 was like a good matchup. Like, if you were 4 and they were 6, that was winnable. That just meant they barely won. Like, barely won.
Literally the smallest possible margin.
Right, and so you
out of 10.
You actually had people put 8-2 matches for stuff that they would win every once in a while, And so nowadays, like, you put 8-2, and it's like, oh my god, dude, that's the most worst matchup in the history of the world. Yeah. I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know how it got so bashful. But yeah, you're right. These SD players are willing to put stuff like 9-1s and 10-0s all over the place. So.
Yeah, I think 10-0 is kind of crazy, but 0.5s, 1s. That's realistic.
I think that honestly
I think that's realistic. Yeah. I really do.
Yeah, so. I agree. For example, like in Super, Cammy versus Dalsum was probably... So this is Super Street Fighter 4, I should say. That was probably at least an 8-2, 7-3 or 8-2. I mean, right now, probably similar.
Oh yeah, that matchup's horrible. Yeah, if you're talking about like T-Hawk versus Blanca, if you have a 3 or a 4 on the T-Hawk side, you're doing it wrong. And if you have a 2, you're being optimistic. Really. In AE 2012, it's a horrible match.
Yeah, it's definitely the most worst, yes.
It's up there. Yeah, definitely. So anyway, I thought it was really cool to see those numbers. It's awesome that people are still taking the game seriously enough, and enough people are taking it seriously enough that these ratings can still happen, and that, here's Kuropi got in contact with all these people and asked them for numbers, and they were available, and they actually did it.
It also helps a lot that Bob can speak Japanese, so he's half Japanese, so that definitely helps.
I'm sure it does, but it's still nice that they were willing to do it and that they put it together. And
Yeah.
so, best character in the game, according to the Japanese, is it Dalsum still? Let's see.
Oh, they have it listed at the bottom. Oh, okay,
Yeah, it's Dalsum.
Okay.
Second place is Claw, aka Vega.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But they still don't have Old Sagat down there. So,
Right.
What about U.S.? Who did they say was the
In
best
the U.S.,
character?
the best character in the game is Claw.
Okay, makes sense.
No, I'm sorry, it's Old Sagat. It's Destruction Old Sagat.
I don't understand how this works here.
It's just, dude, part of the problem is that you get these wonky numbers, like Chris Gamble.
So the lowest number is better then.
No, the bigger number is better.
Because Old Sagat here is listed as 59.75.
Look at the one underneath it.
Right. And that's the higher number. Okay, that's the difference, right.
That's the
But
difference.
for the top number, the lower number is better.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, anyways.
Whatever. So yeah, that was cool. Old Sagat dominates according to American players.
Yep. It's not hard to understand.
Can't disagree too much with that. Probably still have Sim on top if I were doing it, but no
what
big
about
deal.
Europe here? They have as the best character Dalsum. Yep, 22.5 difference from the mean.
And then Boxer.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
And then
much
Claw.
either.
Yeah, if it's one of those 3 or 4 characters up there, it's legit.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever actually nail that down.
No, because
Always up in
the
the-
thing about this game is honestly, the characters. There's so many specialists out there. It really just depends on who you are playing against.
Yeah.
That can change everything, right? Like, I probably wouldn't have said Kami Honda was that bad if I hadn't played Chris Lee that much. I mean, I went to his house. He has a super turbo machine in his house, and every time we played that match, it was just like I wanted to throw the cabinet. I wanted to flip the cabinet. I mean, seriously, it was really bad.
Well,
and there was one time I challenged his Honda. He's like, "Just stop, just stop. Like, let's not do this anymore."
Yeah.
So yeah.
Kusumondo beat. Who's DJ in the Tournament of Legends? Was it
Was it
Damdai?
Afro Legends?
Oh, it was Afro Legends.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
It was Afro Legends. He mauled Afro Legends. He rates that matchup as 1.5. Okay, it's 8.5 for his character. So that's, even though he recognizes that that's a bad matchup, he's been playing this game for 19 years, man.
Yeah.
At this point, like, even if it is in reality a bad matchup, at some point, if you know things in and out, you'll get by. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only reason why I do decently in tournaments with what I argue is the worst character in the game.
Yeah.
Like, I know other people think that maybe Zangief is worse than Cammy or whatever like that, but I still stand by the fact that even including Nakamura, like, in all of fighting game history, you always see that video streak of that one guy using this really crappy character and beating up everybody.
Yeah.
And you're like, woo, this is really impressive,
Yeah.
right? Except Cammy. Like, you cannot go to YouTube and find a consistent streak of Cammy beating up people, even if you look for Japanese players. Even if I looked for Nakamura videos and he loses half the time I watch him play, and it's really sad. So, but you can see awesome Zangief players in Japan. Then there's Komoda, who has like the most
greatest player of all time.
Yeah, round 1 fight. I'm just gonna walk up and bite you, and you're just gonna sit there, just because that's the way it works, dude.
Dude, I really think that he's the best ST player of all time.
Dude, he could be, because he
I
has
really
no
do.
right to do that well with Blanca, right? Yeah. You see Fei Long's blowing people up, but you'll never see a Cammy blow someone up in Super Turbo for some reason. So,
Before we go to break, your top 3 Super Turbo players of all time.
top 3 Super Turbo players of all time?
Yeah, name them.
Oh, jeez. I think Daigo, probably. Maybe Giant. And then, I don't know who would be the last one. So...
I'm going to say Komodo Blanca, Shogatsu Old Honda, and then Daigo.
Interesting. Okay.
Shogatsu's, dude.
I haven't watched a lot of his matches.
Oh, man. So sick. There's this matchup of him in AE, the old AE Anniversary Edition, where you had all of the Street Fighter 2s available to you, where his old or super Honda blows up, who was it playing CE Guile? Some godlike player. Muteki, maybe?
And he
blew him up. I was like, yeah, you're the greatest player. Anyway.
Nice.
All right, let's go break.
All right, we'll be right back.
So, Shogatsu, the best player of any Honda player, and in my opinion, the second greatest player to ever play a Super Turbo.
Do you want me to
just hop in there, man?
Okay.
Here's the thing about the match though that we found. I don't think there's any sound on it, so you'll just have to just watch the mastery. So, okay, if you are not familiar with these characters in this game, CE Guile is one of the greatest Fortress characters ever designed. He's almost impregnable. On the other side...
It's really choppy for some strangers and guys. Sorry about that, but yeah.
Yeah, on the other side is one of the characters who has the least get-in options ever. Old Honda.
Dude, why is he blowing him up so badly?
Because he's so bad. He's the best.
Dude, he already has
so
like
sick.
This ridiculously giant lead all of a sudden. He can just kind of chill.
The thing about this matchup, though, is that you can't chill
against... Yeah, right, exactly.
Dude, in ST, where chip damage matters... yeah, dude, toward light kick or toward medium kick... He has 5 sweeps. What do you think about that?
I miss those buttons so much. When I play the Hyper Fighting Honda, I'm hitting short like all the time.
Dude, seriously. This position right there, before he got the headbutt. Oh, the read! The read! Oh! Don't press buttons. You're going to get swept.
Trying to bait him. Oh, he got the low fierce. Wow. And a trade. There you go.
Okay, so when he did that jump in and Guile didn't block, he just was down blocking. Mm-hmm. The reason for that is that if Guile were to high block, he has no more reversal attacks because he loses his flash kick charge. Mm-hmm. And old Honda's grab range is way bigger than Guile's. So Honda can do a tick throw, see that Guile blocks, and get a free grab.
Right.
No escape for CE Guile at all. That's it. So what Guile does is he takes the hit, and then there's a mix-up. Should Honda go for the grab still or not? Because you know that Guile still has flash kick charge, so maybe you back off. That's exactly what Shogatsu did. Gets the blow up. He's so good. Oh.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. But, I don't know. I mean, anything else you want to talk about ST-wise?
No, we can talk about other old games.
Yeah, I actually really would love to bring up Guilty Gear.
Let's do it.
Guilty Gear is seeing kind of a resurgence right now, and I want it to be bigger. I want this resurgence to go, because seriously, Guilty Gear is awesome. And in fact, Man of the Hour, Flash Metroid even just tweeted, he was like, it's really cool because he's seeing a lot of these top players who didn't play Guilty Gear before trying to get into it now. A lot of people are talking about it. And I think that's awesome, because now everybody, see, this is how important it is when you have patches and new versions coming out. Everyone's thinking, okay, well, I might as well learn Accent Chord right now because Plus R is coming out. And it's going to be worth it because guess what? Guilty Gear Xrd is coming out. So it promotes people to keep playing these games. So it's really important that you have these new versions and stuff constantly coming out. And in fact, I bet you Street Fighter 4 will even see like a small resurgence because now we know there's going to be another version after 2012, right? So this Guilty Gear, a lot of people are trying to get into this game. Fantastic game, and this past weekend on iPlayWinner, they streamed this giant session from SuperFX's house, which a whole bunch of people were at, including myself.
Yeah.
And dude, I just during the course of that day, I fell in love with the game again because, and I already loved the game, right? And while we were just playing, it was just I don't know, it was just. The more I kept playing, the more I remembered how good the game is. I mean, there's a lot... Don't get me wrong. I hate Vortex like you can't imagine, right? And there's a lot of Vortex in this game. There's like a ridiculous amount of Vortex for certain characters like Milia and stuff. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
It's like ridiculous. But, those are kind of that character design. They were designed with that in mind. Whereas I feel like a lot of the Vortex, like from Unblockables and stuff like that, were not kind of designed in mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. So... But the other thing, too, that I kept saying... So I jumped on... They had one microphone over there, so I jumped on every once in a while. And what I was saying on stream... The thing about Guilty Gear that I realized what my favorite thing is right now is that... And I was talking about this with Smash yesterday. Is that the game is... It's not as fluid as Smash, because it's not like all this different... where you can move around and stuff. But there's so many options in this game.
That's true.
And it's not even just like, there's like 7,000 systems, which there are.
Yeah.
But, it's just what you can do with your characters and the creativity they built into the character allows for a lot of, The best way to describe it, so the way I described it was that when you watched, for example, like Steve, Digital Devil 4GK, right, playing against someone like Kugi.
Yeah.
So they were playing Zappa, Eno, or whatever like that. You watched them 5 matches in a row. I could probably say there were, out of all like 10, 15 rounds that they played, that none of them looked the same.
Really?
Yeah, you just don't get into that situation in Guilty Gear. It's like super varied. You don't end up with the situation where it's like, this is how this match is exactly going to go. You know, it's like different all the time because there's so much to do in this game. And so that's just what makes it
sounds pretty cool.
Dude, there were so many times where someone would be drained down to this life and the other guy had this much. And then that guy on the pixel just makes this great read, gets in there, and then just gets another 2 reads and just blows the guy up.
Oh, really? You can come back like that?
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. And also, the game has some severe guts rating stuff.
Oh, yeah, I know, yeah.
So, basically, you know how in Street Fighter 4, the lower your health is, you take less damage?
Oh, you mean the actual life bar? When the life bar is lower.
When your life bar gets low, you take less damage. In Guilty Gear, it's even more pronounced, and certain characters have higher guts ratings than others. So some of them take even less damage.
Right.
So
and the difference between life in general at the start is like really significant too, right? Like Chip versus Potemkin is like pretty crazy.
Chip is not even considered good in this game apparently.
So. Oh, is he not good in the current one?
That's what. Well, I mean,
like I said,
the thing about Guilty Gear, everyone who's like not good is amazing. Like the balance in that game was ridiculous. Like Kugi was blowing. He played me. I played a 1-5 with Kugi. He beat me 5-0 with Eno. Granted, I'm using Johnny, who's also considered super low, but Eno's considered low tier as well.
Oh, really?
And he just destroyed me. I didn't know what to do against him. Like it was really bad.
Former top 8 at Evo.
Yeah, exactly. And so and they were even saying like when you watched Japanese chip players play, and kind of going back to what we were talking about ST, they were just like, you can't even, like, how is this character low tier? Like, the stuff that he's doing is just so ridiculous. He's like, how is he low tier? But he kind of is in a weird way. So, but yeah, Guilty Gear is super awesome, super fun. We had, like, I mean, seriously, I was there from, like, 5 till 2 a.m., I think it was.
Oh, sick. You guys had a long session, huh?
We had 3 machines going at one point in time, and it was nothing but Guilty Gear. There was not a single other fighting game played.
Good stuff.
And we even brought out a bunch of, like, really old school, like, really amazing SoCal Guilty Gear players. That, that... And the thing about it is, the worst thing is Guilty Gear was never around after 09. So nobody knows who these guys are.
Yeah, I'm sure I don't.
So... if you guys want to, go ahead and check out the stream. Even at the end of the day, we did a random 2v... We had 14 players. So we did
really?
Yeah, we had to do a random 2v2 tournament at the end of the day where we drew out names and just basically created teams, and one team randomly got a bye. We just did single elimination with Seta style.
That's so sick.
And we just played that out, and it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. It was the last match... The very last match, I think I almost got the police to come and tell us to shut up because I was screaming so loud because the last match was ridiculous.
Who was it between?
It was so good. Well, I mean, I could spoil.
Oh, you don't want to spoil?
No, it was against. It was between Fred's May and Joe's Johnny.
Who were on their teams?
Joe was paired with Steve, I believe.
Wait, which Joe?
His just name is J.O.
Oh.
That's his nickname. Okay. His real name is Joseph, I think.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then, who was on Fred's team? I don't remember who was on Fred's team now. But they were both really good teams.
Okay.
And, yeah, it was... Dude, that last match was ridiculous. Like, if there's anybody on stream here that saw that last match... I mean, I hope you guys... I hope you guys know... I hope you guys were as hype as I was, because it was ridiculous. That last match was so ridiculous, so... But yeah, check that out. I Play Winner Archive. It was super fun, dude. I had such a great time, and it's interesting too because I used to play a lot of Guilty Gear, but I never played against a lot of strong players. So during the course of the day, I felt like not only did I catch up to how I was before, but I started getting a little better too. Also because there were some so Paul is amazing at Johnny as well. So Joe and Paul are both amazing Johnny players. So it was really good watching them play and picking up a lot of things. And and just learning new stuff. So
man, I'm pretty stoked for you guys. I mean, I know how it feels to have a game that you care about come back from the dead. It's awesome,
dude. Yeah,
it's awesome. So yeah, that sounds really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I totally recommend guys to pick it up. Plus R is going to come out, and Johnny got better. Yes,
yeah.
He didn't even really move in the tier list,
but
really? I don't care because Johnny got better. Yeah, so yeah, I'm like super happy about that. And then of course Xrds coming out. So if you invest in Guilty Gear now, it's going to last you a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's worth investing your time into this game right now. And, a lot of people, when you play the anime games, you watch Lychee, for example, just do these ridiculously long combos that, leading to mix-ups and da-da-da. Dude, Guilty Gear is not like that at all. The combos, there are some long combos, but that's only certain characters. But for the most part, combos are much shorter. And it's not quite as... I don't know, it's just like the pace of the game is so much faster. You're not watching movies as they describe Marvel, right? So
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think the game is fantastic. I'm super glad to see it picking up some steam, and I hope it keeps picking up more steam.
Well, I'm looking forward to the new one.
The Plus R, you mean?
No, to Xrd.
Oh, yeah. Xrd. Yeah. Dude.
I mean, I'll definitely. I guess I'll probably give Plus R a shot. No reason not to, but I'll probably give Xrd more of a shot.
Yeah,
I'm more interested in trying that out because I don't know how it will be, and not like I hope that it'll be the simple version of Guilty Gear or anything, but like I hope that when I start playing it, like I'm not gonna feel like when I pick up a Guilty Gear, like I'll have to learn all these character-specific combos because they won't be there yet. Like maybe there will be character-specific combos, but like day one, it's not going to be like, oh man, you didn't know about,
for sure,
So I'm looking forward to trying it out then, and yeah.
No, it's gonna be so exciting. I'm like super hyped about everything Guilty Gear right now. I'm so I'm so excited. So yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, you might have heard something, maybe.
Yeah, so whatever you heard, that's how I feel about Guilty Gear. I'm like screaming for joy.
Yeah.
That was my inner joy for Guilty Gear. Screaming out from the dungeon. Any case, we actually did do a Guilty Gear episode when
that's right.
Accent Cord came out on 360, so we did a bunch of that stuff already. So
yeah. I mean, obviously, we'll do the same when new stuff comes out. Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait for that.
When is that coming out? Do you know?
Nobody knows. In fact,
really?
They just released a press release that they said that it was supposed to come out in spring, but just programming problems and stuff just made it so they couldn't get it out as fast as they want to.
Really?
So it's been delayed. So yeah, we're all sad because it's on Vita. But have you ever tried playing a fighting game on Vita?
Oh, it's already on Vita?
It's on Vita. Have you ever tried playing a fighting game on the Vita before?
I have, actually, yeah. It was not the greatest experience of my life.
It's painful.
Yeah.
It's very painful. Yeah. So, yeah. It sounds like someone screaming from a dungeon. That's how painful it is.
What is going on down there, seriously?
I have no idea. Oh man, but yeah. So definitely take the time, invest in Guilty Gear. Supposedly, Plus R is just going to be a patch. I don't think it's going to cost any money, so it might just be free. So I don't quote me on that. I don't know. That's the rumor. So if that's the case, that's even more awesome. But if you have, I'm obviously going around buying all these fighting games is expensive.
Yeah.
But if you have a little bit to spare and you're willing to delve into a very very deep fighting game, Guilty Gear is a good choice. It's hard to learn. I'm not going to pretend. Like, everyone tells me don't say that because you'll scare people.
I know, yeah.
But, I need to preface this by, yes, the game is hard to learn. It's going to take some time, but it's a very rewarding game. Once you do learn it and once you get into that flow, like, there's just no feeling like when you get into that groove in Guilty Gear. So it's super exciting. So
awesome.
Yeah. Okay. You want to take another break? And
sure.
We'll come back? Okay. All right, we'll be right back. And hang on a second, I'm going to throw everybody into that again. So
into what?
Into webpage view because I am slow. Okay, here.
Later. We don't have crap else planned, which means that we're now going to open up to questions. If you have any questions, you can tweet them to us at UltraChenTV.
Or just even ask on the stream chat.
Exactly.
As well. So,
yeah.
First of all, I do want to say that so far, a lot of what Endril is saying in chat about the game, I really like what he's been talking about.
Okay. About Guilty Gear, you mean?
Yeah, about Guilty Gear. He said, like, one of the things that makes it good is that there are a lot of good normal moves in this game. So one thing about Persona that was hard for me to play is I just didn't feel like I had enough normal buttons. I had 2 normal buttons and 2 Persona buttons, and it was just really weird to me.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, yeah.
But Guilty Gear, yeah, there's tons of great normals. So it feels more Street Fighter. Even though there's only 5 buttons,
yeah,
and one of them is relegated to dust and sweep on the ground. But there are a lot of great, good moves, so you can actually feel like you're like poking around and doing stuff with it. So, and then the other thing that he said that I actually 100% agree with, even though I love Guilty Gear as much as possible, I really dislike false Roman cancels.
Oh yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a fan of false Roman cancels because some false Roman cancels literally are like 1-2 frames, and one of the things holding me back from being a really good Johnny player is I'm so bad at false Roman canceling a lot of his moves.
Really? I would imagine that you could do that.
It's weird. Well, because the problem with it is, a lot of times, it's really short. I don't know what it is. It's like the window is really short, and there's no easy way to do it.
I know for some characters the window is a little bit longer. Is he one of the characters that has the shorter window?
I think some of them might even be longer. And everyone's mad at me because they're telling me to call it a force Roman cancel.
Oh, whatever. False versus force.
Dude, well, so it's basically the victim of the Rolento-Urien problem, right? Because Rolento was supposed to be Laurent, and Urien was supposed to be Julian. And so when false Roman cancels...
Laurent? Really?
Yes, his name was supposed to be Laurent.
Wow, that's
funny.
Funny.
But, in Japan, R and L sound the same. So they came out with Rolento, and Urien was supposed to be Julian. So he came out as Urien. False Roman cancels were supposed to be forced Roman cancels, but when they first came out here, they were all called false Roman cancels. Yeah. And so it just got stuck that way. So
yeah, I've heard about the FRC thing, but I had never heard the Urien or Rolento thing.
Someone's saying he was supposed to be Lawrence, not Laurent.
Oh, yeah?
Which makes sense, too, yeah. So, in any case, it's just kind of got in the way in there, so.
All right, let's go to Twitter.
Yeah.
Speaking of Endril says, games that last a long time, is it the community that keeps them going, or something intrinsic to the game itself? It's got to be the two, right? It's got to be the combination.
Yeah.
If you have a scene that really, really loves a game, but nobody else cares about it because it's not good, it's going to be tough to keep things going. And think about, like, pre-MK9 MK. Like, in between, like, 3 and 9, when it was ass. Right? It sucked for a long time, competitively speaking. But there was still an MK scene, right? People were still playing the game.
Right.
And I don't just mean even casually. People were trying to take it seriously, looking for combos and playing against each other and all sorts of stuff.
Right. I mean, like at seasons meetings, they always had UMK3 tournaments and stuff.
Well, that's a legit game. I mean, it was super legit then, and then it became legit again. But in between, it was kind of crappy. But there was still definitely an MK scene. But it was just hard to spread. And at the same time, you have games that I don't know. I mean, can you think of a really good game? Yeah, okay. How about Alpha 2 or Alpha 3 if you prefer Alpha 3? Just different people prefer different ones. Really good games. People don't really play it anymore.
You know why?
Why?
Because you can't prefer one over the other. There was no consensus to which one people should keep playing. And I actually felt like that killed the Alpha series. If Alpha 2 was bad, everyone would be playing Alpha 3 right now. We'd just be like, let's just ban crouch canceling infinites, and then we could play the game. But because half the people you talk to like Alpha 2 better, half the people you like Alpha 3 better, that's just the way it works. So I actually honestly feel like that's what killed the Alpha series.
Okay, I can see that.
We should have just compromised and played Alpha 1.
Oh, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah. Whew, anyway.
There are definitely really good games that haven't gotten major, lots of people playing them. So
yeah,
it's got to be the two. And then, I actually meant to talk about this. Jeremy Smith, at Jera P. Smith, middle initial maybe? I don't know. He says, how'd you like that low-tier Marvel 3 tournament footage? If you don't know what he's talking about, on Reddit, they put together I guess largely he, but other people too, put together a Ultimate Marvel 3 low-tier tournament where it was kind of more like no high-tier or top-tier characters. For like mid-tier to low-tier.
Right.
And it was all done online, and the footage is up, and I've been retweeting it as it's come out. Dude, it's so sick, man. Some of those players are so sick. Like, really good-looking players. So yeah, it's been awesome. There was this Thor player who like dances around like how I want to do, but it's like tough for me. It's so awesome, man.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. So,
yeah, I didn't actually get to see any of that. So
I really recommend it.
I saw you retweeting him a lot about that, so that's really cool. So
yeah, I really recommend it. It's fun. I was talking with Ski Sonic about it. He had some critiques about it. He was saying that he doesn't get why people are playing low tier already in this game. Typically, you play low tier tournaments when the low tier has become irrelevant, and it's just for fun, like in Marvel 2.
Right.
But I don't think that's the case. I think you can do it whenever, and it's always fun, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
just want to make a response to Banana Chrome there. He says if I like A3, then I have objectively bad taste.
you got it.
He is absolutely wrong.
I don't understand.
Completely wrong. So, no, I mean,
Alpha 2 is a Street Fighter game.
Yeah, 100% you are correct.
Alpha 3 is not as much.
Not as much. But the reason why I like Alpha 3 so much is because, like, it's Guilty Gear before Guilty Gear. Like, the amount of creativity and just, like, craziness that happens in that game.
It's a little crazier.
They tried a lot of stuff, like damage reduction, mashing, moves trading, but one winning out with higher priority, counter hits that popped you up into the air, counter hits at all. Alpha 3 introduced the guard bar. They did a lot of stuff, the different isms, and so, like, if there was a way that they could have balanced the isms out a little bit more so that the ism wasn't the best, like, to me, Alpha 3 would just be, like, just like, I don't know. To me, again, it would be one of those just, like, fantastic games just because of the sheer variety in the game. So, and I really like their temptation, the whole flipping juggling. I mean, this was the first game that had that kind of flipping that eventually made it into Guilty Gear and Persona and stuff like that. I feel like Alpha 3 kind of is the granddaddy of, Arc System work games.
Huh. I never thought about it like that.
To be honest with you, like, I just love the fact they tried so much, and I still have fun with the game. I feel like a lot of characters are super creative and stuff like that. So, okay, I should make a caveat. I really like the Sega Saturn home version of Alpha 3.
Oh.
Because it has a fully fleshed out, like, Julie and Junie, and then it also has the, Fei Long and DJ, experimental DJ who has zero delay on his fireball.
That was cool.
He was just like, slash! I don't know, it's just like, the Saturn version is also more accurate than all the other versions. So Dreamcast version was based off of the PlayStation version. PlayStation version is not accurate at all. Okay. So the Saturn one, by far, best Alpha 3.
I think that's a cool perspective on it. I never really thought about it like that. An experimental game, I guess, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And it was super creative, and it kind of worked. I mean, maybe a lot of it also comes just because, I wrote a systems fact for it, so I was just doing all this research. Like, me and my brother spent so much time trying to figure out how the flipping worked. Like, eventually you would stop flipping, and we couldn't figure out why. So we were like, is there a limited number of flips you can do? But then we could flip infinitely, and we were like, we don't understand it. So we actually figured it out, and I've always been proud of my little flow chart that I put in my fact. There's, like, this giant flipping flow chart that shows you exactly why you can flip and why it'll stop and stuff, so...
I respect bands that come out with experimental albums, but those are not usually my favorite. So
hey, I love this question from a user on the stream right now. The question is, James and David, can I ask something? How do I beat infiltration? This is being asked by a PR Balrog.
Oh, okay. Here's what you do. First of all, don't go with Rog. Please don't make that mistake. Stick with, actually, learn Cammy, or learn Yun. Always know he's going to crouch attack when he gets up. He does.
Okay.
And then guess right a lot more than he does.
Well, I mean, Eduardo's saying that he learned Yang.
Awesome. Yang sounds like a good counter, too. Actually, I remember, wasn't Yang the character that you were learning to deal with Hakan? I think Eduardo was learning.
Yeah, okay, he says yes, so...
Yeah. I don't think that's that great a pick, frankly, but to deal with Akuma, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, for sure. Shoot. I mean, what I would... So, one thing that Infiltration does that I don't think anybody else does right now is he studies players. more than the characters. And
take
more
the
than
game
matches.
seriously. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So honestly, download as many infiltration matches as you can, watch them, and try to pick out the patterns. Because you saw that. He did that to Daigo. He would walk into a distance where Daigo liked to throw fireballs because you were too close to do anything about it, and he would just focus dash. And sometimes Daigo didn't throw a fireball, but every time he did, he got this huge chunk of damage. So, yeah, he studied him pretty good. So,
Yeah. All right, so let's see.
I believe in you, PR Rog. I believe in you, Eduardo.
You're a good player. Christopher Broward says, FGC majors, what are your 4, and what do you feel are the player majors? Not big-time event, but treated as such by the players?
What does that mean?
I'm not sure what that means. So it's going to be a little tough for me to answer.
What are your... So FGC majors, what are your 4, and what do you feel are the player majors? So in other words, I guess he's setting a difference between, like, official majors and like the hype majors or something like that, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, one better for the scene and others better for the players. I don't know.
Which players, though? Top players?
Viewers?
Most players?
I don't know. I have
Tough
no
one to
idea.
answer, man, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Brittany says, would you ever do an episode on Capcom Fighting Jam? That would be so sick. I played that game for reals. I did. You think I'm joking? Because I'm not.
You really would want to do an episode on Capcom?
Why not, man? I'll do it. I thought that game was kind of fun and a little bit slept on. Just because it looked like butt, which it looked terrible.
The game looks so bad.
Yeah. And that, the Darkstalkers characters are really good and whatever. But it's not that imbalanced in my view. So, I played mostly the Street Fighter 2 characters in that game. I guess not surprisingly. I played Dictator and Zangief.
So, I'm going to tell you what the best thing about Capcom Fighting Jam is.
What's that, Mr. Jimmy C?
Is the video that I'm linking in the chat right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, look up Fun with Capcom Fighting Evolution.
What, is it totally broken stuff?
No, it's just a combo video that I made a long time ago.
Is it on Hauser or something?
No, it's like Katamari Damacy themed, which makes it amazing.
Okay.
And it has a rhyme scheme. This video literally has a rhyme scheme. Every part of the song that gets played, like if it's a verse, the same stuff is happening on screen, sort of. And every time it's like like the bridge, it happens to be the Alpha 3 combo video. Dude, this video is sick. I'm not even joking.
Okay, I gotta check that out, I guess. Yeah. That sounds pretty amazing.
But outside of that, game was ass, so.
Here's a link to the Reddit Ultimate Marvel 3 low tier stuff, and I will also retweet that on the UltraChen account. Bam, okay, done.
Cool. Nice.
Thoughts on Persona 4 Arena?
Oh, actually, you know what? I do want to talk about something. Filthy Rich. He left
Filthy
Namco.
Rich.
Dude, I'm so sad to hear about that. I'm sad to hear about that because that's essentially like Seth leaving Capcom.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same kind of situation.
Community manager, Filthy Rich over at Namco. If you're not familiar with this guy, was a long time, pretty good Tekken player. An important guy in the scene, and he was brought on by Namco, I don't know, a few years ago now. I don't know how long exactly he was there.
Right.
A few years.
Yeah, but it makes me very sad to hear that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who they're getting to replace him. I don't know if they're going to get anyone to replace him, but, hopefully they do. So far, having these community guys on there has been super helpful. Combo Fiend and Hans have been doing a great job with Capcom recently. In fact, they've been having all those little streams where they just talk about some of the suggested changes and stuff. But I keep saying I want to email Combo Fiend some changes like the ones that we talked about and stuff. But I just haven't had a chance. So.
As long as he doesn't continue to refer to Zangief as one of the best characters in the game, I'll be Combo Fiend, are you serious? How could you say that? That's ludicrous.
But yeah, no, I mean, we definitely wish Filthy Rich the best of whatever, he's moving on to. And I hope Namco can find someone, good to get in there. I mean, I think it would be awesome if they hired someone like Rip, right? Like
that'd be awesome,
yeah. Because, really that guy he's cool, so.
Definitely.
Cool, so.
And best of luck to whatever Rich is doing.
Yep.
Thoughts on Persona 4 Arena Top 16 at UFGT9? It seems that all the Injustice stuff overshadowed a really entertaining tournament. Honestly, the only one I've seen is the final, is Grand Finals. So I haven't really seen the rest. And in any case, I'm not exactly an expert on that game. I don't really know it that well. I've heard it was really good, though.
Banana Ken instant killed somebody, didn't he, in grand finals?
Yeah, he won with
Shadow Labras,
yeah,
right? Yeah. So that was apparently
that's what closed it out.
Hype.
It was pretty sick. Yeah, you can combo into it. It was pretty sick.
Yeah, they also released the Lethal League videos too.
Ooh, I saw that today. Yeah,
dude, wasn't that sick, dude? Yeah. It was actually really sick. Yeah. So, dude. I was cracking up.
Let's see. So Christopher Broward, I guess, is trying to clarify his tweet. He says, "Look at golf. TPC isn't a major, but the players see it as such." I'm still not exactly sure what we're supposed to be talking about.
I mean, the thing about it is, I guess he's just asking what tournaments are considered majors. Like, because, okay, for example, people have been on stream like, oh, this is not a major, that's not a major, we need to stop calling everything a major,
okay,
things
should
be regionals, whatever like that. So if we interpret the question in that format,
okay, sure.
What would you consider true majors, and what would you consider something as a regional?
I would say, as far as real majors go, let's see, Evo, obviously, if we're even going to count that in the same category. SoCal Regionals, Final Round, CEO, UFGT,
NCR, would you count?
Yeah,
NCR?
I guess NCR, and then like one of the Northeast tournaments I feel like should be in there, but I don't know which one of the ones I would pick, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would probably, right now, in my mind, there's only 3 that I would count as, like, majors.
Okay.
And unfortunately, 2 of them occur right next to each other, so that would be EVO and CEO.
Yeah.
Right? But CEO has the benefit of being really close to EVO, so a lot of people come out to test their stuff right before the final. And then probably final round as well.
I think that those 3 are pretty hard to argue.
Yeah.
Those are, I would definitely have those in any list of majors. The other ones that I mentioned, I feel like they are, but...
Yeah, I mean, so obviously stuff like ECT, UFGT,
right.
Everything that Big E runs.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Like, I'm not sure which one of those to say is the major for the Northeast, because they have a few good options. Right. So
Canada Cup, is another. I mean, Canada Cup is probably more regional status than it is a major.
The thing about Canada Cup is that it's definitely a regional where a ton of other top players are also there. Yeah. So it's like this weird combination. Civil War isn't, and Robin knows that, the guy who runs it. He knows that, and I don't. He's one of the cool things about that tournament is that it is like that. Is that it is kind of like a community regional kind of feel. It's an old school feel of a tournament. So it's not the same.
So wait, what's going on? Has Harada disappeared or something like that? People on the stream are saying like Harada tweeted about being sick and he hasn't tweeted for like a week since then. Or
maybe he's
like
dead. I don't know. I have no idea. Let's see. How do you feel about East Coast majors in contrast to West Coast majors? They're good. I don't know. They're both really good.
I mean, I picked 2 of the majors that I picked were East Coast ones, CEO and Final Round.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. They're good stuff.
Awesome.
Look, okay. Here. I'm just gonna say this right now. There just doesn't need to be a comparison. I don't care if they're on the East Coast or on the West Coast, frankly. And a lot of people keep trying to promote this whole East Coast versus West Coast tournament format. Whatever, dude. We're all tournaments. We're all in this together. We should be working with each other, trying to help each other out. You know what I mean? So I don't want to. There's like no reason for any divide in any of this at all whatsoever. So Dude, a tournament is a tournament is a tournament. So
and furthermore, the difference between some East Coast majors, some East Coast tournaments is pretty significant. CEO is not like ECT, and Final Round is is a different thing entirely as well. So it's they all have a different feel. If you haven't been to them, they all feel a little bit different. So I think it's kind of weird to talk about a coast in that respect.
Yeah, there's VXG coming up too, but obviously VXG is in its second year right now, so. It'll definitely be. I mean, they said that they already had like 600 entrants or something like that.
Oh, good stuff. I don't know.
So so they're doing great. So
I heard that they already hit their how many people they wanted to come. So I didn't know what the number was. So
I'm not even sure. See, for me, VXG I wouldn't even count as East Coast or West Coast. Like,
something different for sure.
It's outside.
It's not on a coast.
Hey, the more tournaments we get, the better. Especially in outside the mainland area. You know what I mean? If we could just, like I said, look. I mean, yeah, we don't want to do that one year, like last year, where every week was a major, because then we'll all die, right? I mean, that was just painful. But you know what? If we can get a good handful of very quality events, you know, of course that's going to be better for us. Not only do we know then which ones to travel to, we get the same players going to all events, we get a much more accurate representation of where players stand against each other, and then we can work on a true ranking system. Because the hardest thing about ranking systems right now is you have Alucard going to UFGT, but nothing else, right? And a player like Alucard needs to be going to every event because he's so good. And without him going to all these different events, it kind of skews rankings a little bit.
Of course,
because Alucard's going to be ranked low, right? But if we can get to the point where we know which tournaments are good, we can get players like Alucard sponsored, we can get players like Moons sponsored and stuff like that, right? If we can get these guys to go to more tournaments and get them to consistently play each other, we'll have a more accurate ranking system. And all of us are going to benefit by having a more accurate ranking system, you know? So.
Yeah. Let's see. You can't favorite grappler in a versus style air dash game, excluding Potemkin.
There's not very many choices after that, right?
Like, who am I gonna say? Tager, Waldstein, the girl in the blob. I don't know if I remember her name. Kuma or something? Was it Kuma?
The girl in the blob?
Yeah. Oh man, you don't even know.
Are you talking about Waku Waku 7?
No, I don't know, man. To be honest, like, I haven't played. Yeah.
Okay.
I just haven't played that many, so I'm not a good person to ask that question to.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Oh, Sarabella, of course.
Oh, right, of course.
Yeah, I'd probably say Sarabella, honestly.
Arcana Heart is the girl at the blog.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
So, any other questions, guys, on chat, by any chance? Will David and James be playing Xrd? Of course, I'll be playing Xrd.
Yeah, I'll try it out, of course.
I am not,
always do.
I'm not going to avoid that at all. So,
do you feel that some games have too many characters? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think Street Fighter 4 has too many characters.
I do too. I also think Marvel 3 has too many characters.
Yeah,
I really like Third Strike's number of characters. It's perfect.
About like 19?
Yeah.
19? Yeah, that's a good number. That's a good number.
I like that.
Guilty Gear's about 20 something, low 20s, I think.
That makes sense.
So yeah, so also good number. So
well, I mean, it's 10 o'clock at this point.
Oh
so
yeah, so
probably the show that sucks is going to be starting up over on
true.
twitch.tv/iPlayWinner with Harrison and Hanzo Gonzo, where they'll talk about, I'm not sure, but head over there and find out.
Talk about Scorpion, and I just want to say one thing, huge. Okay, all right, that's all. So
I can confirm that.
Yeah. All right. Tune in twitch.tv/iPlayWinner, show that sucks, Hanzo Gonzo, and SB Harrison. So check that out. Peace out, everybody.